Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Emma Venn with AfriPel Live. How are you doing on this beautiful Saturday, the first Saturday of April? This Autism Awareness Month. We normally talk music, worship, praise, but we are going to dedicate this platform this month of April in Autism Awareness Month. We just want to bring awareness to the community, to our friends and families, sharing with them our autism journey, our challenges, our what is the word? Things that have been good for us, right? Things that have gone well, challenges, some misunderstanding about autism. And then every Saturday, there will be a mother that will join us to tell us about her journey, how it all started, where we are right now, some things that she can share with others that will impact their lives, that will educate someone about autism. So please share with your friends. Before I bring my guests on, I just want to do a quick shout out to my pastor's wife, Mother Isawa Nicole. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. God bless you. I also want to say happy birthday to Sis Judith Carpet. God bless you. Happy birthday as well. We're excited this beautiful Saturday. If you have nothing to do, go out and enjoy the weather because it's been cold, 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 and finally spring is upon us. This morning, our special guest is going to be Mistress Alberta Tabier. So without further ado, as you know, the program now is only 30 minutes, but I'm pretty sure we will be going a little bit over because of the subject we're going to be discussing. So if you know of someone, invite an autism mom that has been doing a phenomenal job. Tell them to come join this platform because we want to celebrate us, right? There have been some ups, there have been some downs, but through it all, no one see the behind the scene. You see the beautiful pictures, but you don't see the behind the scene when there are struggles and there are challenges. So we're going to bring, without further ado, I'm going to bring our guest on this morning. Please give her a round of applause. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome.
Good
Welcome.
morning.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Awesome. Awesome. Loving the blue representing.
That's right.
All right. So, Alberta, I've been knowing you for when with time we were young little kids at Calvary Baptist, and here we are today after many, many years. If for those that don't know who you are, can you please just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. So my name is Alberta. I am a daughter, wife, mother, friend. I'm a healthcare professional. I'm a registered nurse with the health facility administrator's license. So I can run long-term care facilities or work in nursing. Uh, my husband is currently traveling, but we are in a blended family of 7 kids, so that keeps us busy anyway.
Wow.
This is 29, and the youngest will be 13 in December. So, with 2 dogs.
As a big family.
Yes, yes. So,
Wow. Wonderful, wonderful. So we're just going to jump into it right now. So I know I've known you all this time, and we want to talk about your journey through autism. We want a mother's love, her strength when it comes to autism. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your son, Jaimin.
okay. So Jaimin is 28. He was born in 1998. So about 18 months is when I noticed the change. It was like night and day. He was making sentences, saying little words. And like I was sharing with you, Emma, with what I caught was we're just sitting watching TV, and I looked, and he was standing in front of the TV, not even looking at it, just looking like somewhere on the screen, but not straight at it. And then I said his name, and he wouldn't respond. And after that, it seems like he wasn't responding to name or ask when you ask him to do something, he wouldn't. So took him to his pediatrician, who said, well, we'll just send him for a hearing test. So Jaimin went for a hearing test at a local hospital. We live in Indianapolis, Indiana. And so went to the hospital and they did the hearing test, and I didn't know what the results were. They sent it to the doctor. He called me in and he had this look on his face. And I was like, usually kidding around with the doctor, but he was serious. And he was like, I'm going to have to refer you to a special pediatrician. And I go, okay, what's going on? You're scaring me. Is his hearing okay? He said, yeah, it's okay. And he said the words that even though I went to nursing school, had my license, I didn't even know anything about that because my focus is geriatrics. So he said he's got pervasive developmental disorder. Okay, come again. What does that mean? He said, well, I don't want to say it. Let me send you to this person and they can diagnose it. So 2 weeks later, got an appointment and that was the first time I had heard of autism. I've known people with kids with autism. No one in my direct immediate family. I'm the last of 9 children born to my parents, and none of their kids had it. So the pediatrician told me at the time he's on the spectrum. He's got autism. And after that, I don't remember how the conversation went. I was just sitting there and I gave me a whole lot of papers and stuff, read about it or whatever. And so after I just, my life changed that day with the diagnosis.
Yes. And that is something when you hear the word autism, immediately you like, what is it? What are you telling me? Is my child going to be this? Is my child going to be functional? What I need to know? And they leave you. That's it. They just tell you, and then you're left in the blue. So once you heard the word autism, pervasive developmental delay, what was your next step?
Well, I held my baby and cried. So I cried. And then I got angry at God. Like, you gave me this. This is not going to fit into my life plan. First off, at the time, I was a single mom. So I was doing this on my own. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? I don't know what this is. And cried and cried. And then I was like, okay, I got to get up.
Yep.
You're a nurse. You can do things. You take care of other people's loved ones. I started to read and research and talk to anybody who would know anything about it, because like I said, I didn't know anybody. I saw kids when we went on play dates and stuff, and somebody will say autism, but I had no connection to it. So then I started to somewhere in the paperwork that I was given had something about Autism Speak. There was a phone number in there, so I called. And so that's when we really started, and they were able to help me find psychologists, psychiatrists, and speech therapists, and all of that. So that was a lot.
This was at 18 months.
18 months. Yes.
And you know what's interesting? It's like, what changes in there? Because they are they're meeting their milestones. You take the kids to their pediatrician and you're checking off those boxes. But I don't think anyone have ever explained what changes between the time they're developing properly and all of a sudden there is that change in their lifestyle. Did anyone ever say anything to you? You being a nurse also.
Yeah. So absolutely no one still has. All we hear about are the incidents, 1 in 50, at the time, I think when he was diagnosed, it was 1 in 150.
Wow.
So it was still prevalent, but people didn't know. I've asked the greatest minds, what was that switch that just, and that's what it seemed like, just like a switch went off. So
And you're talking about he's 28 now.
Yes, he is.
So yes, definitely it was not something a lot of people knew about or spoke about.
No.
So how did you handle it from the perspective of when you go out there and people, especially as kids, they will do things. So it's like, oh, they're kids, but in their growing years, and you take out there and people are looking at you. What were some of the challenges that you experienced during those?
So one of the things that the psychologist and the it was actually the speech therapist, not the occupational therapist. You would think it would be the occupational therapist. One of the things they did was talk to me about sensory overload. So it's noise, it's lights, it's fast moving anything.
Yeah.
What do you do? So for those of you who are watching and you see kids with headphones on, and especially younger kids, be sensitive to their needs, because they, for lack of a better term, it seems like it's a tantrum, but it's overload. So, and he was a tall kid. He at 28, he's about 6'3",
Wow.
he can go up to like 220. So teenage years, he's like 5'9", 5'11", taller than me. When he will get stimulated or overstimulated, he'll start to jump. And so when we would go out, people be like, I can help you. I can help you. I was sharing with my niece the other day. A couple years ago, we went for his birthday to a big event, Disney on Ice. And when he went into overload, because of awareness now, right, those stairs. In fact, nobody offered to help me and stuff. They just kept going like nothing was happening. And I was like, whoa, 20 years ago, everybody will come. I mean, people were like, do you want to call the police? No, he's 8. He's 8.
Right.
So, it looked pretty bad for a kid just jumping and jumping. So I learned to just use certain words. Like I'll say, put your hands in your pocket, sit down.
Yeah.
And he'll take off running as well, too.
Okay.
So all those little things. And then I'll know to give him pressure. And this little lady, we're in Walmart once, and he really needed pressure. So I told him to sit down on the ground. And so I put some pressure on him, like put my body on him. And the little lady walking down the aisle, she's like, you okay? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We're fine.
Okay.
And after that, he was calm.
Wow. So have you ever been like physical? Because you say he's big. Yeah.
So like he doesn't fight. He's a gentle giant.
Awesome.
So the only instance that we had, and I'm smiling because, my late sister Pearl, she always talked about this over and over. Tell me about the time that Jaimin picked up his staff. So he's in a group home. And so one of the guys took something from him, and he was kind of like, because he's nonverbal, so he's kind of pointing like, hey, he's got my stuff. And it wasn't returned to him. And so he went and tried to get it, and the staff didn't intervene earlier and came towards him. He picked the staff up and moved him out of the way and went to the guy and got his stuff back.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's interesting. I know, right?
He's not. So he runs and he makes a lot of noises. And to your audience, you probably hear him out there because he just kind of yelps really loud. That's part of his self-stimulation too. So.
Yeah. So talking about you said he's in a group home. When did you decide to put him in a group home, and what was the reason?
That was a very, very, very painful time in my life. So single mom, I got my first home, was excited. It was a nice home with a basement. He had his own space, everything, but he would exit seek and he will literally run out of the home.
Oh, yeah.
So we had alarms and everything, but he'll do it while I'm there. We'll be upstairs. I'm thinking he's in the basement, and the cops will bring him back. So he was actually on the local news here because they had to call the FBI one of those nights. It was back in 2012. It was an August night, and his bus driver from school knew him because he rode the bus and he had an assistant too. And he said, I think he knocked on the door. He said, I think I see Jaimin on the street. What?
Wow.
Went through the house and he wasn't there. So, yeah, that.
So it was was it a tough decision? I know it's like eloping, but
Extremely hard because he didn't just go to group home. So that's one of the things that I learned too. The system is not as easy as most people think. You can't just get up and go, you know what, I can't do this, drop him off. We went through the stress center with the local hospital that he was born at. And they kept him for a week or two, tried medications, different things. And they're like, well, we can't keep him. And I go, well, I don't know what to do. Yeah. And so threw my hands up. I went to the court system to help because we had applied for disability through the Bureau of Developmental Disability. We applied. He was born in 98. We applied in 2000. They told me, the representative, their caseworker, whomever, said that they haven't even processed people from 95.
Wow.
So he wouldn't get any services. So we had to go through the courts. I got into a little trouble because I left him at the hospital and said, you guys are going to help me. I don't know what to do. So like, we'll get in. We got a guardian ad litem for a couple of years, and through the courts, they were able to help place him. And so he had but I always had rights. So after the year or two supervision and all the things, I was granted, we had to pay for it, legal guardianship of him.
Got you.
I make decisions, but that I don't advise anybody else to do what I did. I did.
Yeah.
But it kind of sped up the process. So he's been
when you're in your case, I mean, you say they were still processing from cases from 95.
Yes.
And he was in 98. So you had to do something to get this going. Wow. Yes. And I mean, what they say, by hook or by crook, we're going to get this.
Right. Absolutely.
And then also thinking about it at that time too, it was not something a lot of people understood or how to deal with it. So I'm pretty sure they too were trying to figure out the ropes and how long it takes and all of that. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much. If you're just tuning in, I'm Emma Venn with AfriPel, and this month is Autism Acceptance Month. And with me this morning is Alberta Wiatabia. We're talking about her son, Jaimin, who's 28 years old and is also on the spectrum. So what are some of the challenges that, like, I know you say he's nonverbal. Does he use the iPad? Does he sign?
So, yes. So his speech therapist she was with IU Health here in Indiana. She was the first speech therapist we ever met. He was 3 at the time. April, hi April, if you're watching. She was the one that found that if we sign, then he'll make the words. So even though he doesn't pronounce the words as they correctly, but you can kind of make out what he's saying. And like I was sharing with you the other evening, that sometimes he'll just do a whole sentence.
Right.
Like, did you hear that? He'd be like, I'm thirsty, or I'm hungry, I want to go eat. Or I'm like, okay. And then in his current situation, in the current group home he's with, shout out to New Hope of Indiana. They're awesome. His behavioral therapist, she's highly educated, Terry. She's got all the master's degree, but she works with him with behaviors and all the things to help him function well. We feel like she's part of the family. She gets him to actually speak. Like she'll say, use your voice, use your words. And so
Mhm.
she's not a speech therapist, but gets him to talk. So the challenge has been communicating. And when we go out to, especially if I try to do mom and me dates with him and he needs to
Yeah.
go to the restroom, I can't go to the male restroom, and he's a man at 20.
Yeah.
I can't take him with me. So just,
Exactly.
being mindful, stuff like that, standing there kind of peeking to see who's in there. Um, um, and then just with the excited utterances, he can be really loud. Thank God for my church, Progressive Baptist Church. They and even the church before Christ Open Door, everybody knows chime in. And our church, we worship loud anyway, so he's part of it. So he's
Oh,
just,
right.
nobody's looking at him different. So
Right, right. So I hear you talking a lot. You got behavioral, you got speech, occupational. At what age or what stage did you start implementing, or were they all at once?
they were all at once. Once we got sent to this behavioral pediatrician or specialty, I don't remember the actual terms, or
Mhm.
we got in touch with the different services. So speech came in, occupational therapy came in. He didn't need physical therapy because he runs anyway. So, yeah, but behavioral, he's always had, and then he works with Dr. Class as a psychiatrist, a long time psychiatrist here in Indiana. So they work with his medications and everything. Some of it is
Yeah.
not behavior, some of it is his personality coming through.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. So I'm thinking because for Abigail, now let me throw this at you because this is a learning experience, guys. If you know someone that have autism and they're trying to deal with it alone, especially in our culture, in our African culture,
Yes.
there are parents or people that still finds it hard to tell people about their kid, or they're hiding their children, don't want no one to know what they're going through. But this is a culture we didn't no one asked for this to be brought upon them, and that's what we ought to speak about it, because you never know who might be listening, who might be watching and say, oh, you know what, I see this, yeah, I think my child is starting to show one or two symptoms, maybe I ought to be progressive. Sometimes it's nothing, okay, but just the idea, you want to take the first step to make sure, hey, maybe this is something that we are concerned about, can you look into it? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Before we close, I know time goes by so fast. It's like 30 minutes, but there's a lot in there. What are some misunderstanding when it comes to autism, especially having a son, his height and being overstimulated, jumping? What are some misunderstanding about autism that you've experienced?
That the kid, that starting with the parents, that they did something wrong. I'm not trying to get political with this, but it's come up recently about medications and stuff like that. Tylenol
Shots.
and vaccines and stuff like that. I'm not gonna, even though I'm a nurse, I'm not gonna speak to that.
Mhm.
But no, that's, in my case, that was not it at all. So that's that. And then for the kids, that they understand what they're doing, they just want to be bad, they can't behave, and it's something about the parenting style. No, it's a disorder. It's like any other disease process, like diabetes and stuff. You have to have a plan.
Yeah.
And so for that's the misunderstanding. And that when people are in public, just be kind. Be kind if they're annoying you, or because he flaps sometimes with his hands, and if it's distracting and stuff, look away. Look
Mhm.
away. It's
Mhm.
it's so easy to be kind, and just
Yeah.
be kind. So,
Yes, it is. Be kind. That is definitely what it is, because there's so much going out there, and you know what? You never know what that parent has been going through all day. This kid has been overstimulated doing this, and we don't need another one to come up there and try to chastise you for what your child is doing. So yes, if you're listening, thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in. I'm Emma Venn with AfriPel, and joining me, a long time supporter. She's always here when we're doing our programs, supporting our lives. So today, to be talking with her about autism, she has her son Jaimin, he is on the autism spectrum disorder, and we're just chiming in. If you have any questions, please feel free, put it in there, and we have a few more minutes. We can answer any question you may have. If you want to reach out to her specifically or personally about any questions you may have, we are not claiming to be know it all when it comes to experts.
We're
Exactly.
just parents.
Exactly. We are just parents that have children on the spectrum, and especially having a son. Like she said, he's a gentle giant, tall. Wow. But you're tall too, so I can see the height. Definitely, definitely. So, for moms out there, for especially our African mom, and one thing I realize is this has been around for a very long time, just not diagnosed, just not knowing what it was. Because now, when I look back, when you come to Liberia, you
Mhm.
look back and how many kids are in that situation, and they just put them aside and just forget about them, no schooling, and just call them all kinds of names. Um, how can we speak to those parents? How can we start showing awareness? Even in this country, there are still folks that, oh no, that my child don't have it. We're all Christians, right? Oh no, they disregarded my child. I bind it in the name of yeah, nobody will put that name on my child. I'm not speaking it, but it is real. It is there.
Absolutely.
No one wants it, but how can we bring those parents in, let them know this is what it is. So let's see how we can talk to those parents out there.
I know. Just let them know it'll be okay. Even you talk about Liberia. I when we were talking earlier, I was sharing with you that in hindsight, we look back and say, oh, that person was on the spectrum, which, by the way, autism moms, we see autism in a lot of people. But
Exactly.
I went to school with people like that, so it'll be okay. I was told by his psychologist at 3 and 4 years old, don't shield him, bring him out. If people are uncomfortable, they need to move away or do whatever they need to do. Don't hide him. Don't, and I'm going to say that to my sisters and brothers, if your kids are being, first of all, get help. There are a lot of people out here that know stuff. There's a lot of help.
Yes.
And then assimilate these kids, bring them out so that, I'm in a blended family. All of our kids love their big brother. One of my bonus sons, he almost came to blows, a little guy, because someone was saying, hey, your brother doesn't
Yeah.
speak. And he was like, he has autism. And he was trying to explain what it was. And don't talk to my brother like that.
Oh,
So,
that's sweet.
yeah. So
Yeah.
just support groups help. And if you don't like support groups, because not everybody like that, find a good church.
Yeah.
Churches get a bad rap, but they're true churches that will wrap their arms. I said my previous church, Christ's Open Door, where my brother Winfred, my late brother, used to co-pastor. And in my current church, Progressive Baptist Church, has a vibrant youth program, and they're very inclusive. Sometimes I don't take him to church because he's so busy in his group home. He's got outings he's going to
Oh, that's
and
sweet.
stuff. But yeah, people
That's
really, and my family, my mom, my siblings, my bonus, I'm gonna shout, I don't know if she's on, my Aunt Robin Nichols, always giving me a beer hug. Day one was in the hospital when I had him. So
That's awesome. Wonderful. Hey, so let's before we wrap up, what keeps you going when you what are some of the look at that celebrated glory moment when you see Jaima doing some things? I know we talk about just blurting out those full sentences. But what are some of your? Oh yeah, I can
He
celebrate him because of yeah.
he's a clean kid. He cleans. So in his group home, he has a master bedroom with a bathroom and everything. He keeps his space clean. When he's
Nice.
home with us, like he is this weekend, we get him during the week or on weekends. He'll eat and try to wash dishes and stuff. That's functioning. I'm like, first of all, you're a boy. We're African. I don't know a lot of boys that want to be doing dishes.
Dishes, yeah.
And he's just mom's helper.
Yes.
He loves his siblings, especially his little brother. Because he's taller, he'll reach and grab something for him and, help. So I celebrate everything with him. We do as a family, I should say. He's my heart. So I say but it's a family.
Yeah.
It's a whole family thing. Yeah.
Definitely. Awesome. 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 The time is against us. I appreciate you this morning for sharing your story and sharing Diamond with us. It is wonderful to know that we are not alone, that we have a support
Absolutely.
group. You're talking about washing dishes. I don't know how if he likes to finish up your soap. My goodness, Abby will stay there, make bubbles, and you have a whole tube of soap by the time she's done. It's like leave my soap alone.
Absolutely.
But yes. Now, let me ask you this, because like I said, I'm in that stage. She's still a child, but we talk about all these behavioral, speech, occupational. Now, when does a psychiatrist and a psychologist come in? Because for Abby, she functions well. She's overstimulated, like you say. He likes to jump. Oh my goodness! When Abby is running in this house, I'm like, thank God they made these things solid, because child, I can see if you will go through the wood in a second. But yeah, she's so loud. She's jumping all over the place. And she has the ADHD. When do you seek out for psychiatrists and psychologists? When is the right time?
So the psychologist for me was early on for coping. So they're teaching me how, because this was a developmental psychologist. So you have your regular pediatrician, and then you have your developmental pediatrician, and you have counterparts for each once they know your kid is on the spectrum, because that's what they do. So then the psychologist just teaches coping mechanism. When you take him out, it's almost part of behavior modification. The psychiatrist came in for medication purposes, and his medications, like the psychiatrist tells us all the time, you can't medicate a personality, but you can deal with certain behavioral issues and stuff. So Jaimin cycles, and it's not any specific season of the year. It's not in the fall or summer or anything. And when he cycles, he will go without sleeping for 96 hours. That's a week. So he might take a 5-minute nap. So that they had to give him something for that. We were joking about this because everybody knows, or if you don't know, Ritalin has a lot of caffeine in it, and caffeine has the paradoxical effect for someone who's hyperactive.
Exactly.
So before he started any meds, he's not on Ritalin, but before he started any meds, I used to give him a lot of Mountain Dew and some coffee. In the 5 minutes of coffee.
Yeah.
I should give him coffee because she's a nurse, and he'll drink that coffee and go to bed.
That's right.
I don't advise you to do that.
No, it doesn't work for everyone.
It does not. It worked for him. So
exactly.
That's the earlier the better. It's better to know, even if you don't use them. Like the psychologists, we don't really go to anymore because the lady I mentioned, Terry G, she's a behavioral specialist, so she's taking that place.
Gotcha. So, and occupational therapy.
They helped. The occupational therapist came in early for functional, so to help him button his clothes and tie the shoes and all the little things around. So we don't see that person much anymore because he Yeah, he can do a whole lot more, but that's, yeah, speech still
So yeah,
going on.
yeah.
Anything to help him acclimate. He has music therapy now.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
because he loves music, he loves him some Johnny Gill too.
Oh, you're kidding me.
My sister-in-law keeps
Go
telling
now.
me she's gonna take him to a concert.
I know because their group is going around. They're touring right now. You go ahead now. I ain't mad at you.
I know.
Does he like to sing?
Yes, has a beautiful singing voice. Don't know all the words. My niece had to tell me, "Oh, he's singing XYZ song." Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, really? Yep. And they be singing song you have no clue, but they're
Absolutely
singing also.
done.
That is so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you all so much for tuning in. You can watch this again if you miss it. We're also on YouTube. So we want to thank Alberta for joining us this Saturday morning, sharing her story, her journey with autism, the love, the love, the love. And again, if you come across one child with autism, is that one child with autism. You will see another child that is totally different. And you'd be like, oh, I thought autism was this way. And that's something I hear a lot. She doesn't look like she got autism. Autism is not a look.
Absolutely.
It's not a look. So I appreciate you, my dear sister. God bless you. Thank you for sharing your story. And let's support this month autism awareness. Talk to someone about autism. Be patient if you see that child acting up. Like she says, not tantrum, okay? It's a stimulation, is something you see that kid with their headphone, or that child with their iPad. It's not like that child loves to be on the iPad, but it's something to just keep them for that moment. It's their way of entertaining. I tell somebody, I'm like, we're always on our phone. We don't look at it like that. So why we want to beat the kids for being on their iPad, but we're all in that computer stage. So thank you, thank you. Any last words you got for anyone out there before we go?
It's always doable when you have Jesus as your Lord and Savior. If you're a praying person, I know we live in times now that people don't want to acknowledge his presence. I could not have done this by myself. Not only did he show up, but brought people into my life at the right times, and I mean, you one of those. I always tell you when you call me, I'm like, and say you're on my mind, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, I'm going through something. So I'm just grateful for my faith and my family.
Amen. Awesome. Thank you again. Thank you again so much for tuning in. God bless you. And you have a wonderful weekend. You got plans for him this weekend while he's there?
Oh my goodness, yes, we're gonna go jumping at Sky Zone.
Awesome.
Energy out. Yeah.
There you go. Have fun. Our regards and love to Jaimin. And you guys have a wonderful weekend. God bless you.
You
And
too.
happy Easter to all of you listening. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend. See you next Saturday. We'll have another mother talking about her journey with autism. Thank you.